Welcome back to another episode of Q Points Podcast. The podcast is dropping the needle on Black music history. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is J. Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. And yo,
it's happening.
It's happening.
We're here. We are live and in effect. This is our very first of all, welcome and happy International Podcast Day. By the time you're listening to this is International Podcast Day. And, you know, J-Ray, we decided to do it real big and do a live recording of Q Points for International Podcast Day, because why not?
Why not? And first of all, this is just such a monumental moment. Folks have been asking us, all of y'all have been asking us to do something live. So being able to do this in our home of Atlanta, to have all of y'all beautiful faces surrounding us, yo, this is a big deal. So just wild. Thank you. Thank you.
And now you all get to see how the hot dogs are made. You get to see what we do behind the scenes and, you know, all the madness that it takes to create this wonderful show. You and one of our guests were talking earlier about how long we've been doing this. We're up on 3 years, y'all.
Can you believe that?
3 years of Q Points Podcast, a lot of firsts, a lot of greats, and a lot of great things that have been happening. And I'm super excited to kick it off, because today we are live, like J. Ray said. We are recording live in Atlanta, Buckhead specifically, because we are broadcasting live from the Fit360 Fitness Center. And because today, J. Ray, we're talking about the fitness factor.
Yes.
The fitness factor, because even at the beginning of the show, we have always incorporated health and health-mindedness in our discussions, because it's no secret, we're Gen Xers, right?
Yeah.
Most of our audience, or most of our listeners are Gen Xers, and we're getting up there. I just celebrated my 48th birthday.
Yeah.
And I, like you, give it up, because there are a lot of people, you know, shout out to, you know, let's think about the people that haven't made it to 48. So you have to be thankful for the age that you are right now, right? And so in doing this podcast, J. Ray, we were experiencing a lot of losses.
Yes.
When it comes to the people that we like to honor on our show, we were experiencing a lot of losses. A lot of people, a lot of entertainers that we look up to were passing away at very early ages. And so that sparked our discussion about health and the things that we go through, because we've gone through our own fitness journeys throughout our lives, right?
Yeah. So one of the things with Q Points we didn't want to shy away from, of course, even though we discuss music as the core of our podcast, like DJ Sir Daniel said, so many of our legends we were losing. When we first started the show, we felt like every week we were saying rest in peace to someone. And it got to the point where we would talk about someone and they would pass away in close succession to when we talked about them, right? And so because I'm gonna speak for me personally, I've been up and down the fitness road and recognize for me personally how important it is to figure it out and try not to get discouraged if I fail or fall down with it. And that happens. It just happened on my vacation. I was doing so good up until I went on vacation. And I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna worry about nothing. I'm on vacation. Baby, I've been back for 3 weeks and I have not gotten back into it. And my first instinct was to beat myself up about it.
Wow. Yeah.
But I have to not listen to that voice. And so the fitness factor and us being here and having y'all here, one, ready to work out, what the folks can't see is that people have sweat rags and shorts and everything.
On, you know,
and
I don't see any headbands though, no sweatbands.
No headbands.
Or leg warmers.
Okay, I was looking for leg warmers.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
Okay,
next time.
Can we talk about this? Do you know what, I don't know what leg warmers are for. Do you know what they were for? Who knows what leg warmers were for?
They were decorative, right? They were strictly decorative.
Right.
Basically an accessory, thank you. And so, you know, But to your point, J. Ray, speaking of clothing, many of our friends are here. Y'all have seen me. I have been every size. I think from my early 20s up until now, I think my highest, I'll be transparent, my highest, I was almost 400 pounds at one point. My lowest, I think I may have gotten down to like 199. So I've been everywhere in between the gamut. So I know the struggle is very hard. Some days you just feel like, what's the point? You know, Jerry, you know what's the most frustrating thing? Is when it's time to eat and you have no clue what you're gonna eat, but you know you wanna eat, and you can't decide what you're going to eat. You know, I think, and again, to your point earlier about beating yourself up. So that is why we're here today, and that's why we're not only going to be speaking about music, but we also are speaking to a friend of ours as well, friends of the show, master trainer, and the owner of this facility that we're in, Fitzroy Smith, will be joining us later on in the podcast, and we're going to talk to him about those things. About the things that we beat ourselves up about when it comes to our personal fitness journeys. But J. Ray, we're going to have some fun too. Because, you know, before the show started, before we hit record, we had the music playing in the background.
Yes.
And, you know, we were jamming, as we always do. So
we're
the question,
Miami too. You had some Miami vibes.
You know, I had the hard hitting, you know, the bass vibes going on. But I want to find out, what is your favorite fitness song? Because we've discussed this before, and I'm curious, what songs get you pumped? What song gets you hyped?
Okay. So there's actually three. There's three songs that really kind of send me up. One is MOP's Annie Up.
Nice.
MOP's Annie Up. I don't care if you are not into hip hop, when you are working out and Annie Up comes on, especially with that beginning synth, that
oh yes, the world is about to
and then the
come
beat
down.
drops. You can do anything. I promise you.
Yes.
That little stair climber that's out there that I hate, I can do that when Annie Up comes on, right?
And
So
you're gonna rob somebody afterwards.
you
too.
can rob somebody afterwards, right? So Annie Up definitely one. Deja Vu by Beyonce is a great cardio song because it just has the perfect tempo for you to tip. Like I could be on the elliptical and I can like do a little like whine a little bit to that. So that joint. And my very last one that really is new, Cash In, Cash Out. Pharrell featuring 21 Savage and Tyler, the Creator. My goodness. And that song, much like Annie Up, just has kind of a revving component that makes it something that I can do. So those are kind of my three get up, get moving fitness songs. Now, what are yours?
Ooh, well, you know me, I'm all over the place. So, you know, like we were playing earlier, we were playing a lot of bass songs, a lot of, you know, stuff that has a lot of kick to it. And, you know, let's just go old school. Let's just, you know, Push It is like the all-time aerobics song, best aerobics song ever made. You know, it's what people, you know, anybody could work out to it. It's got the tempo that lends itself to bringing up your heart rate. So we've got Push It. When it comes to lifting weights and things of that nature, you know, Annie Up is really good, but I'm thinking like a Busta Rhymes. I'm gonna take it back. The Scenario remix. What's the Scenario remix? A nice rough, rugged, and raw kind of beat to work out to, a little cussing, and you know, something to get your frustrations out about. And last, since we're doing three, I'm gonna pick some reggae. Okay. I'm gonna pick a little, you know, something that in my earbuds. And people, please wear your earbuds. I'm doing a quick PSA. When you're out working out, especially if you're working out in public, nobody wants to hear your pill speaker with you. Do not bring that to the gym. I'm saying it right now. Spread the gospel, everybody. No pill speakers in public gyms whatsoever. Anyway, so back to the song. I'm going to do Batty Ryder, by Buju Banton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the name of the song, Batsy Rider, and it's talking about shorts. But anything from the 90s dancehall, Mad Lion, Shoot to Kill, anything like that, perfect workout songs for me.
So you actually just brought up something interesting. One of the things, and I've had to just eat it if this happens. You get to the gym, this is the worst feeling. You are so ready to work out and you get to the gym and you don't have your earbuds. So the question is, what do you do? So Sir Daniel, what would you do?
You knuckle up and you just do it and listen to what that Britney Spears or whatever the oons music is playing overhead. You just go ahead and get into that, because no, you do not pull out your phone and play music from your speaker.
Yes.
That's a no-no. That's a cardinal sin.
So I am from the school of just go back home and get them more often. I'll just drive back, go get them. And what typically happens, especially now that I live at home with my mom, she'll be like, what happened? That was a fast workout. I'm like, baby, I didn't do nothing. I lost my serious. So I'm curious, so cheer if you are a just suck it up and work out person. So cheer if that's you. Okay, so we got, who is I'm going back to get my headphones. Cheer if that's you. We got a lot of that.
Okay. If you live a good way away, God bless you. Because if I go back to the house, there's a strong possibility that I'm not leaving again. It's a wrap for the rest of the day. It's like, you know what? I didn't do it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. But that's something that we all battle with, the thought of, is there enough time? Do I have enough time in the day? Do I have enough time in my schedule? Am I too big to be working out? Am I too old? And I think that's the point of today's show, is that it's never too late.
Yeah.
It's absolutely never too late to do something, to get moving. And I believe that is what we are. That's the message that we have today, is to keep moving, no matter what. Yeah. Do what you can do, whatever brings you joy as well. That's what you do. Because if you hate it, if you hate the type of exercise that you're going to do, or workout that you're going to do, the less likely you are to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you like taking walks, go out there and take a walk. Put on a weighted vest if you need, or to give you some little extra, tension or whatever. But go out there and walk. That means the likelihood is going to increase that you are going to do that. So that's what we're going to talk about today on this episode of the Fitness Factor of Q Points podcast. J. Ray, when we come back after this break, we are going to be speaking with a music legend.
Yes. Bonafide music legend.
Bonafide music legend, and you're gonna know why when he gets on the mic. Literally, we're gonna ask him to start paying rent, because he's pretty much been a part of a lot of our shows. Yeah. So he's pretty much the third cast member of Q Points podcast, and we're gonna talk to him shortly. He's gonna join us, and we're gonna have some fun and talk about performance, what it takes to be a performer, not just behind the mic and in the studio, but on stage. So stay right there. This is Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We'll be right back after this.
This is They Reminisce Over You. I'm Miguel.
And I'm Christina.
They Reminisce Over You is a podcast that celebrates and honors the best in music, movies, and TV from the past.
We get into the careers and legacies of some of the biggest names in hip-hop, R&B, and pop culture. From discussing the groundbreaking music of Missy Elliott and Mary J. Blige,
to exploring iconic moments in TV and film like the chaos at the 95 Source Awards. They Reminisce Over You has something for everyone.
So join us as we reminisce over the artists, movies, and TV shows that have shaped our lives and continue to influence popular culture today.
Welcome back to Q Points, y'all. We are live at Fit360 here in Buckhead. Let me hear y'all in the room, in the building.
All right, look, I'm out here talking to the people and forgetting that we got a ad running for our Canadian cousins, the Troy, the Reminisce Over You podcast. Make sure you guys check that out. They are absolutely a great podcast. But we are here. We are at the Fit360 Fitness Center in Buckhead. We're broadcasting live in Atlanta, guys. It's International Podcast Day. And we, like J. Ray said, we're doing an extra special show. And we're talking about the fitness factor, and, music and fitness for us go hand in hand. So, during our planning sessions, we're always talking about who can we talk to?
Right.
Then we said, you know what, let's call up our brother because he is a bona fide, legendary singer, songwriter, activist, working artist, because that's a really big deal. Working artist. Our friend, please welcome to the show, Mr. Kipper Jones. Let's make some noise for Kipper Jones, please. Kipper, before we get started, we want to...
You sit here and you wonder who in the world.
Who is he talking about? He's talking about you.
Man,
We're talking about you because this past week,
Yeah.
you had a big anniversary. Tell the people what happened earlier this week.
Well,
29 years ago?
29, but next year is going to be the big one. But
Big one.
29 years ago, last week, we released the debut album for Brandy. And I wrote that very first single, which was I Want to Be Down. And that was 29 years ago.
Ain't that crazy?
There's
crazy.
a kid who trains here at the gym. I had this conversation with him before. And I asked him, I was like, hey, man, do you know Brandy? And he was like, no.
We would be like,
And then I was like, yeah, how old are you? And he was like, 28. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
29 years ago, I am now a part of ancient Black history, but I just, it's just awesome to just see these things happen, man, and realize it was 29 years ago.
And the best part is that we're all here to
Yes.
celebrate with you.
Amen. Amen.
That's the best part about it. So tell us about, as an artist, what does it feel like for an artist physically after performing? Because I just saw a report recently that Beyonce, who has gone on this tremendous world tour, reduced some of the dates, right? And so, I'm always on Twitter looking at, on Black Twitter, we're always talking about everything, and people are like, shoot, she cut out shows. She
a lot,
she
man.
stopped shows. Yeah. Like, Kipper, I know you don't know specifically what Beyonce goes through, but what is it like for an artist when you are on stage, you're singing, you're dancing? Physically, what does that do to you?
Okay, so a couple of things. That whole world of performance on that level is so incredibly physically demanding. First of all, you're engaged from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. Your brain is engaged because you're having to do, you got all this stuff to remember and to do, and spots and places, and she's got lifts and cranes and all that kind of stuff. So it's like tremendously demanding physically. But to that point, I want to say this, and I've known that young lady since I don't know, she was like 16. They were kids down in, maybe so. They were like, teenagers anyway, preteens and teenagers. And we went to Houston, and when I tell you that them girls were everything, running on treadmills with heels on and not out of breath and singing the whole time. That kind of training. They were training for something. They were working toward something.
Yes.
They were working toward this. What are they now? Like the largest selling Black female R&B
Reigning,
group in
yep.
history. That's what they were working toward, but they were working toward it. And so the other thing I wanted to mention is, and we're talking about Beyonce, but it works with all of us who are striving to be entertainers, maybe. We're talking about artists, I'm talking about entertainers, and they may be two different things. But work ethic. Beyonce is out of her mind. She's not even talking to, I mean, she's not there when she's working. She's working, and she is totally into what she's doing. So she's on time because she's not going to disrespect anybody's money or anything like that. So, you know, all of those things that go into a great work ethic. So I'm sure her fitness routine is just that. It is of that work ethic. And I'm so glad Fitz is here now so I can say in his face, he has really helped me with my work ethic about being up and getting here at 8 in the morning. I mean, I be 8:15 and traffic in Atlanta is a beast, but you know, it's the work toward it. If you can work toward it, then you can get over there to that place, you know. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it absolutely did, and I want you to even delve deeper the difference between an artist and an entertainer. You brought that up. Just briefly tell us, in your opinion, what's the difference between an artist and an entertainer?
Right. So, in the year of our Lord 2023, anyway, hey Michelle, we're live. Shut up. But I don't have my glasses on, and I'm sitting there, she look like Michelle.
I saw her coming over there. I was like, we're live. So.
But no, really, in 2023, anybody can be an artist. Anybody don't even have to be a person to be an artist. Come on, AI.
Say that.
That's real.
Yeah, right? So they're really definitely two separate things in that regard. But I'm a little older. I'll be 62 in January. My point of reference is different. When I say entertainer, I'm talking about Sammy Davis Jr. I'm talking about Jackie Wilson. I'm certainly talking about James Brown and Little Richard. And you know, I don't even say Michael Jackson's name because it's like a given, right? He's the given. That's the tradition of when I speak of entertainer that I'm always thinking of. So me, if you've ever seen my performance, you know, it's very physical.
Yes.
It's not, I'm not standing in, I'm not Michael Franks, who I love, but good Lord, move, man. I'm moving and engaging, and and all that stuff is physically exhaustive. Previous to 2015, however, I was doing that 3 sets a night from 9 to 1 every Friday night.
Everyone.
Without fail. I think I missed a couple. I missed the one when my dad passed, and I still showed up to the gig. I got someone else. And when I broke my hip, okay, not broke my hip, when I had my hip replacement, yes. But doing that, and up to, like I said, up to 2014, 2015, acting a fool, eating late at night, don't rest. I wasn't working out, smoking whatever and everything, and just hanging out. And my blood pressure was through the roof. And my doctor was like, okay, so there's a couple of things that can happen. But first, I'm gonna give you this pill, and we're gonna start there. And it was just a hydrochlorothiazide, what they call it, a water pill or whatever. And I was doing that, and then it was like borderline, and it kind of stayed in borderline, and I just kept taking that until finally, 2015, I just said, stop it. Just stop it. And I stopped smoking. I started kind of working out, but I certainly changed my diet a lot. Got a gym membership, so I was at least going, do some cardio stuff, and my blood pressure started coming down. But let me tell you something, between then and today, because last week my blood pressure was 121/67.
Yeah.
I ain't taking nothing. I'm not on anything, like, nothing, right? And so it is that. It is the lifestyle changes. It's the fitness routine. And, just making wise decisions about your health. Real quick, I don't know if your audience knows, but I also am a recent cancer survivor.
Yep.
So I am just 3 months now past radiation treatment. And let me say this too, while you celebrating me, please celebrate my sister because she's here too. And my sister was just finishing her chemo for breast cancer when I got my diagnosis. So the both of us. And again, fitness, important. We're coming from our Saturday yoga class that we take together every Saturday. That's, we are serious about, making good decisions and making good health decisions and extending the life that we have. You can take it and do what you want to do with it, but I'm going to try to do the best I can, so.
Kipper, you mentioned your performing style. Talk to us about how you have had to adjust as you are aging. Because let me tell y'all something. There is a video of Kipper in 1986. You what, 24 or something?
24.
Baby, he's running across the Roxy stage, singing his face off and jumping, and the crowd is going crazy. I was tired looking at it. And when I first saw Kipper perform, he was still doing full out routines. Like the breakdown would come and Kipper is going to two-step and dance and all of that. What changes have you had to make in your performing style?
And thank you for that too, because I was tired watching it myself. I was like, good Lord, boy. And remind me to show you this Soul Train clip before we leave.
Oh, yes. Oh, we got to all see that.
Okay, so, but you have to respect your limitations, and that's been hard for me. I'm glad I'm amongst friends in this room. That's been hard for me. Since 2015, 2016, right hip replacement, 2018, left hip replacement, and then the cancer diagnosis and yada, yada, yada. I don't have my, I'm not working with the band on a regular basis right now, but there are still some musical performances that I'm doing and they're coming up and that kind of thing. But, so I think it was Sonny. Yeah, Sonny called me and asked me to do that gig with him.
Yes.
A few months ago. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It's time for me to start, getting back out and doing the thing. Let me tell you something. Woo! It's more than a notion. And that's when I realized, I was like, no, you've really got to respect your limitations. The older that you get. Yeah, I was running and jumping and flying and all that kind of stuff. And so was Prince.
So was Michael Jackson.
So was Michael Jackson. Prince even to more of a degree, because Prince's physicality was just out of this world. All that splitting and bouncing and turning and hopping off of speaker stacks.
Hopping off the piano in a 6-inch boot. Come on.
Yeah, in those man lifters. Yeah. I mean, that was a lot on his hips.
Yeah.
And I trust me, I know. And confronted with that situation, hip replacement, not hip replacement, in that era, that was a daunting proposition. Now it isn't so much. I mean, a hip replacement, like my orthopedic surgeon said, oh no, man, they're like tooth extractions. So, I mean, because they do them so often and so frequently, and it's such a laparoscopic technology now. Okay. But in those days, they would have to cut you and cut through muscle, and you'd have to learn how to walk all over again. And, and plus there were some religious concerns. He can't do blood transfusions. They make you sign off on that when you do those surgeries. And, so I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful every day that I don't have that kind of restrictive life, and that I've been able to make good decisions or make decisions that have kept me here this long. Let me say that. I think they was good decisions. And I got people like you and people like, for those of you who don't know, J. Ray is not just my friend and brother, but he's also my manager. So, he helps me with the madness, because I'm an Aquarian. I'm very scattered. I'm all over the place. I can create the world in 36 hours. I can do it. But You know, this one here kind of goes, well, yeah, okay, but let's do this first. You know, so that's very cool. So you know what it takes to do that, and I'm just grateful that at 60, almost 62, and it's just funny for me every time I say that, that I'm still able to do that. You know, and people like Fitz to help me with this physical part of it. Yeah. You know, yeah.
So what we're experiencing here is we're getting a lot of insight from someone who's in the world of entertainment and artistry, and what a lot of people today, especially, you know, we see on social media, everybody's a critic, everybody is an A&R, everybody, you know, likes to add their 2 cents and give their experiences with interactions with artists, right? And they can do it at the speed of light with our phones, and you can go on social media and say, I just met such and such, and they just performed, but they wouldn't give me a selfie, or they wouldn't give me an autograph. With your perspective of what it's like to be on stage and everything that you just talked about, can you just let the listener know, why is it that an artist may not want to do a meet and greet or take your selfie or give you an autograph, especially after they've finished performing?
That's good. So an artist, and you're talking about a vocalist probably, right? Not an instrumentalist, because nobody plays instruments anymore.
Oops, now wait a minute.
So
Shots fired.
right? Yeah, so I mean, at this stage, I know you're talking about a person who's like in front of a microphone and doing something.
Absolutely.
Rappy or singy or something.
Sing-songy,
Sing-songy,
melodic rapping
kind of
now.
thingy.
Song stylings,
Right,
yes, all of that.
Right. Well, let me tell you something, man. This thing right here between the crown of your head and the soles of your feet is your instrument. It is an instrument. Andrew, I'm sure you will attest to this. It is an instrument that operates in its best capacity when you treat it well and do the things that you're supposed to do. When you mistreat it, it will mistreat you. And what you don't want to do is be, after the show, hanging out in the lobby with the fans and having drinks and, you know, oh, you were so good, yeah, smoking and drinking and, you know, and all the things. And you probably got a show tomorrow.
Right.
Or sometime soon, right? That you have to be ready for, that voice that made all them so excited about you tonight has got to be ready for the next performance. The only way, and this instrument really only recovers with rest. You've got to shut your mouth and go somewhere and be quiet. And people used to talk about Michael Jackson because he talked like that and it was like really comical. But he saved his voice. And so did Whitney whenever you got it in. Well, you know, Whitney was thuggish. I love her. That's my girl, and I can say that because in the street she was loud. But whenever she was on television, it was always very soft. You know, she would never, you know, she wouldn't yell. Not the Bobby Whitney.
Those days.
Realistic,
right.
what do you call reality TV?
Yeah.
None of that. But I mean, really, when she was, you know, sitting on the couch with Arsenio or whatever, there's a Seth Riggs, who is one of the greatest vocal instructors probably this industry has ever known, always had, even Stevie would talk like, you know, like that, because he always tells you to keep your voice down, save your voice, no screaming, no yelling, don't let anything upset you so you won't, you know, that kind of thing. So it's really important that you take care of that instrument. So you can't be at all the meet and greets. When Janet did all that picture stuff with people, you know.
She probably wasn't saying one word.
Not a word.
Next.
Yeah.
You know,
And see,
like,
she's not being shady. She's trying to preserve her voice.
No, you've got to take care of your voice. She's on a tour.
Yes.
And you're 50-something, 5, 7, you know. Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. And that's the other thing, man. We do not recover like we did when we were in our 20s. So it's important, you know, that you really again, respect the process, respect the fact that you're aging and things are different. If I cut myself, it takes me a whole lot longer to heal than it used to. I'm not Batman like I used to be. It used to just heal up. you know. Now I'm worrying about getting an infection because it won't heal.
Kipper, as we wrap up, you have been busy at your craft, working, I know on a lot of projects. What stuff can people get ready for?
What can I share?
You can share. Yeah, you can share. I don't even know what we're sharing. Kipper's going to share. There's an email. So hold on. I'm gonna raise this. So what are we share? What are we about to share? What are we about to hear?
Is it? We got an email? What? No. Okay. I am a couple of things. February is Black History Month, as we all know, and I have an incredible performance that we did at the Impact Church last year, February. What we call it the award-winning performance now of Respect Yourself, the music of a movement, which will repeat performance at Impact Church in February with different headline performances. It's going to be an incredible, incredible thing. But the other thing, though, I get to be candid, is the new Vanessa Williams album.
It's about to be.
Yeah. So.
Yes. Did we mention that you've written for Vanessa Williams? I thought people know that, right?
Y'all should know that, right? Her very first song, The Right Stuff. I wrote that for her.
Do the French breakdown, please.
Jalousie, don't play.
That's him.
Yeah, that's me.
That's Kipper Jones.
So, we got a new record coming. Kevin. Oh, Lord. But yeah, we got a new record coming, 3 songs in. She called me and wanted to really address her dance audience. She's been a large part of the RuPaul Drag Race community, and now she's a host of Queen of the Universe. And so, matter of fact, we got Trixie Mattel on one of the cuts cutting up. So it's just been a blast, man, working on this new stuff.
We are Kipper Jones. I can't say this enough. We are so grateful that you are a part of the Q Points podcast family, and we thank you. We're so grateful for your gift and that you shared it with the world, and that you're sharing it with our audience, and what it takes to be an artist, and the reverence that you must have for your body to have long-standing and have longevity in this craft of entertainment. Thank you so much for being a part of our very first Q Points podcast live recording. When we come back, we are going to be joined by the fitness master, the master trainer himself, the owner of Fit360, Mr. Fitzroy Smith. After this break, this is Q Points podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We'll be right back.
Give it up.
There are 2 types of people in the world: those who complain about the state of today's music and those who dig. I'm Jason Randall Smith, and I invite you to check out Radio B-Sides, Both Sides of the Surface, a music podcast championing the work of independent artists from around the way to around the world. With a primary focus on Creative Commons licensed music, think of this show as a never-ending virtual crate dig through a parallel universe of online labels, seeking out the hip-hop, soul, jazz, funk, and electronic music gems that are often hiding in plain sight, and hopefully demystifying the world of Creative Commons along the way, one song at a time. You can find Radio B-Sides wherever you listen to podcasts. For more information, visit the website at bsots.com. That's BSOTS.com.
Yo, we are back. Welcome back to Q Points. We are live at Fit360 in Buckhead, in Atlanta. Thank you all so much for being here and having this experience with us. And I couldn't be, we are so grateful to be in this beautiful space. For y'all who are watching, you can see it. For those who are listening, visit the website. Fit360 is a beautiful workout facility with some of the best energy of a gym that I've ever experienced. And we are here with master trainer and the owner of Fit360, Fitzroy Smith. My brother is in the building. Fitz,
Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome, man. Talk to us a little bit about this space. There is so much of you on the walls, in the equipment. Fitz was in here putting this stuff together. You know what I mean? Talk to us a bit about this space and what you wanted to create when you were pulling it together.
Well, thank you, Johnny, for having this here. And I think it's really special to present music and fitness together, because it goes together. So this space was created in my head years ago. After being in the industry for over 30 years, collecting data, so to speak, from all the locations that I used to work at and train my clients, and listening to owners who said good things about the business and bad things about the business, and I listened and I kind of come up with my solutions for it. Said if this ever happened to me one day, then I can implement these things my way. Being a creative myself, artist and all that stuff, I wanted to put some of that element in the gym as well, and my love for fitness, and just wanted to also accentuate the piece of it that would help other trainers, which is reason why it is mainly a trainer's gym. Mm-hmm. And because I felt like I wanted a home for them to be creative into the space and really accentuate and really build upon their clientele, and have a good life, like I have. So I wanted to have that for them.
Awesome. You know, I met Fitz several years ago now, and at the time he was actually training you, J. Ray.
Yo,
he was training you
hard at like 6 a.m. I
would see the videos and I would be like, yeah, and mind you, I've worked out with some trainers that were kind of maniacal, but Fitz is definitely not maniacal. As a matter of fact, I think what I've noticed is that you take a lot of care in the people that you work out with or that you train, because not caring about your subject, about the person that you're with, having no empathy for them is rude, it's ridiculous, and it's not good customer service, all of those things. But here we are, we're three black men discussing fitness and music. And, you know, recently Men's Health magazine dropped a very dope issue that featured several different covers featuring at least six different covers featuring some of the giants of hip hop. And when I say giants, these are gentlemen that are very fitness focused and oriented. We've got Busta Rhymes, 50 Cent, Method Man, Wiz Khalifa, Ludacris, Common, and all of these gentlemen have in common is that majority of them there's some that are 50 and up, and then we've got some that are 40 and maybe in the upper 30 area, years of age. But as black men, there is this intersectionality of health and fitness that we always have to talk about. And did that color or influence you to spread the gospel of fitness as a black man? What was your perspective on fitness for other black men?
I think it's really, really important. Unfortunately, that's not what's being presented in the black community, because we're still trying to eat that our soul food, so to speak. We think it's the gospel of black people, and I got to tell you, soul food is not the business. For it really doesn't give a shit about our health.
Oh boy, we're gonna break some hearts today.
And while it might taste good to y'all, your body don't like it. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to beat up on soul food. It's did some good things in the time when it was needed.
Right.
And bad food is better than no food any day. Okay. However, back to the cover you were talking about, I think it's great that these artists has embraced fitness in a way, hopefully not from an ego perspective, but in a way that it's beneficial mentally, physically, and emotionally. Because I think fitness. I've embraced fitness in a way on all of those levels, and it has brought me to where I am. So yes, it's very important, and as far as the Black community is concerned, we need to embrace it from that perspective as well. It could be beneficial to us, even more so. It's more than physical, it's more than emotional, it is all of those things. So instead of one, we're trying to look good, we need to embrace it for a more deeper aspect of what it really is the health aspect. And it's like if you take care of something from the inside, it will expand on the outside, it will show. So you don't have to be like, oh, I need to see myself this way, I need to look this way, I need to look this way, I need to look this way. You will get there if you just follow the breadcrumbs, the trail, and where you're motivated to go.
So we're not going to beat up on soul food, but food is important. And so, scrolling through, let's just take Instagram, for instance. Like scrolling through Instagram, make some noise if you have purchased something that popped up on your Instagram feed with regards to health and fitness. So I'm the only one. I'm the only one. Make some noise if you purchased something that came up on Instagram. But there's a lot of things that people are tuned into fitness being a craze and being a fad and coming up with different products for us to purchase, especially food. What are some things that we need to look out for? Because, like I said, you scroll through Instagram and you see, hey, here's 50 things that you don't need to eat that are terrible for your body. If you just eat this or drink this is going to make you feel 100 times better. Like, what are the things that we need to look out for and pay attention to when we get bombarded by those ads that come up on our timelines?
Well, you don't really need to look out for any of those things. Which, if you're focused on what health food really is, and you stay in that lane, it doesn't matter what they're advertising, doesn't matter what they want to sell to you. You just keep a blind eye and keep focused on what health food really is. Now, a lot of us are confused about what that is. I'm going to clear that up for you right now. Okay. Health food is food that are raised and grown naturally. Whole foods. For instance, any animal can be healthy if that animal is raised naturally. Food that are grown from the earth is healthy if it's being grown naturally. And that's it. There's nothing else to it. It doesn't matter what they're trying to sell you, how they want to sell it to you. That's what health food really is. So you can eat carbohydrates, you can eat fatty foods, you can eat all of that stuff as long as, in my opinion, you ask me, if it's whole food.
Because I was going to say, we're both West Indian, right? If you can't tell, Fitzroy Smith is definitely a West Indian, and we're West Indians, and we come up with a lot of what we call ground provision, right? And a lot of the ground provision are starches. And so, and you think when we talk about fitness, we hear a lot, cut back on carbs. But like you just said, back home on the islands, a lot of those things would come off from a tree from our backyards or things that
out of the ground, yes.
Out of the ground.
Naturally out of the ground. In this country, unfortunately, our food industry has taken our lives over. And they have made carbohydrates bad. And it is true, it is bad. A lot of meat that we're consuming is bad because they have taken over, again, from the perspective of making money, and they have to use advertisement to sell it to us, to trick us, to convince us to purchase those things. So if you're not listening to those things, or it doesn't matter what they say on the TV or the advertisement, you're not going to fall in the trap because you don't know what you don't know.
Wow. And to that point, so one of the things, this surprised me so much because what Fitz just shared, when I first met you, I was of the mindset like, no, carbs, bad carbs. And then Fitz was like, it's okay that you have that brown rice. That's that's okay. And it was the first time that someone affirmed and taught me what it all meant and how to think about it. And that's the one, and also going back to you as a trainer, I can say this from personal experience. Fitz, you are one of those folks that you'll push, right? And then, but you, like, if I couldn't do something, you would trust that I couldn't do it. But what I would know is this: Fitz was gonna work me up till I can get to the point. And I would get to the point, right? And then I would try and do that thing again. And I'd be like, no, I can't do that thing. And he'll be like, yes, you can. And then I would do it and be like, oh, I've made progress. But we see progress in some other way. And I just want to thank you for, one, sharing this philosophy with me, because I know it's helped me a lot in my life from an eating perspective, but also from a fitness perspective overall. Because, folks will have you out here not eating. They'll have you out here not eating and working out all the time. And you were like, balance.
Yeah. Very, very true. I mean, Johnny's a full-on experience onto not just the fitness, but also how I cook at home, because he has cooked with me, we've cooked with him, he's been in my house, he slept in my house.
Yep.
He sees firsthand how Fonda and I, my life coach over there, has eaten and how we live. And one of the things that Fonda and I don't have is health insurance. We never have health insurance. And we are not afraid that we don't have health insurance, because we believe so much in what we eat, what we consume, and how we consume how we cook our food, where we buy our food. We were ridiculed before about our food bill being so high, and our medication, we didn't have medication bill.
Right.
And it was like, wait a minute, how does that make sense? And what people don't realize that my medication is food.
That's true. I absolutely know that about you.
Yeah.
I would, there was a shot, I don't know what it was, but there was one day I was at the house. I can't remember, Fondo probably remember, but she was like, here, have this. And I did, I was like, what is this? I felt better. It was horrible going down because it was really bitter, but it was great.
I found that the more bitter something is, the better it is for you. Yeah. Absolutely. But, and just listening to you, J. Ray, describe the relationship that you have with Fitz. A lot of our listeners right now are tuning in, aren't as blessed to have that kind of relationship with somebody in the industry, right? So there are a lot of people who are, and we were talking about this before we got on, who get on social media and I can train you. I'm come, meet me here. I got you don't need that waist trainer, or I will supply you with a waist trainer, and I'm also going to supply you with a meal kit,
right,
and all kinds of things. But we don't know anything about certification, whether who they trained under, or what they know for sure. But what are the things? Just give our listeners right now a couple nuggets, some gems, to how they pick out somebody that can help them on their journey. A trainer or a class, just some nuggets on how they pick those things out for them so that it makes sense for their life and their journey.
Wow, good question. If you're looking for a trainer, you have the right to ask for their credentials. Most people don't. A piece of paper is not necessarily the best form of being a good trainer, but you can ask questions to their clients if they have, which they should have if they're good enough. If you can feel them out, get a couple of free sessions. If you can request those things and feel them out and see how the relationship feels while you're getting training. You can ask them, and if you have any questions about, that you need answers to, you can ask them, see how they answer those questions. Not only you listen to those, answers, but you want to feel them as well. If it feels right to you, if it makes sense. So those are some of the things that you can do that, and those are strong things. Like especially if they have other clients, you can talk to those other clients. You can pull them aside and have a conversation. Most times, the clients might say good things about their trainers, but you can also feel the answer as well. And a free session or 2 free sessions is a good way to find out, because you're in their hemisphere. They're training you. You can feel what might be wrong, how they're pushing you. Are they like Johnny said earlier, are they listening to you, how you feel? If you say you can't do certain things or you're tired, how do they kind of like nudge you through to try a little bit harder, or to say, okay, I get it, back off, let's do something else. Right.
You know, to that point as well. So for us on the other side, how can we also be good clients? Like, are there ways? How should we show up? Like, what are some of the things you need from us? How can we be good clients to y'all?
That's a good question, because we as traders, we complain a lot to ourselves, of course. One of the biggest thing is be on time. Pay on time. Okay? We are part of your expense, your monthly expense. And we live off of that of you paying us. And it's a good trade-off. We're giving you something that is valuable. So it's good to show that you appreciate that value that we're sharing with you by paying on time. Showing up and try to, instead of saying that's hard, or even if you say it's hard, physically try. Because sometimes a client may say, oh man, that's hard, but they try anyway. So, it's important to kind of show up in a way where the trainer can sit back and just say, okay, I like this client. You know what I mean? I like training this client, because there's some clients who just complain, and when the time comes to train them, we don't want to. There are no motivation behind training that client, and so you're not going to necessarily get the best of us. There are clients I have that I'm excited to train. Like, I don't care if they pay me, I'm excited to train them.
Wow.
Because we're having fun. It's something we're doing constantly, all day, every day. And so when you have those clients who you're excited to train, you just want to do it. It makes your day easier.
Can I ask you a fun question?
Ask me any question you want.
I want to ask. Okay, so as we wind down, Fitz, I'm curious. I want to tell you, Fitz would have me do one exercise. I hate it. I hate it. They are burpees. Burpees are evil. Okay? And then he would give me a weight on top of it, and I would have to do a burpee and if you watch the Fitness Factor video, I put one of them in there where I was doing my burpees. I was doing it too, but I hated every moment. Are there certain exercises that people kind of hate, but you like, this is really good for them and they need to do it? I'm curious.
Any exercise that a client hates to do, they're going to do that. Because the reason why they hate to do it is because it's hard for them. Now, it's going to stay hard if they never embrace it and do it. And the moment it gets easier, and it's also when they finally do it and it becomes easier, they feel like they've won something. It's a big hurdle that they went over, and it makes them feel really good. So just because you hate it, I'm not going to take it away from you.
I did do my burpees, and I did feel better afterwards. I did.
Sidebar, mine were bear crawls. The bear crawls were like the bane of my existence, but that's another story for another day. Fitzroy Smith, first of all, thank you. We appreciate you so much, always. Right now, there's a listener like me, 48 years old, listening to this show right now, but they haven't moved in a long time. and they're kind of nervous about being out in public, exercising, being in a gym, exercising where people look fantastic already. They're nervous about how their body moves when they're out and about. What do you say to that listener right now that is contemplating making a change, but they just need that extra flick to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to get started.
Can I curse?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Don't give a what people say. Get up and move. Here's the thing. Even if someone you come to the gym and if someone look fit, they didn't come in fit. They came unfit. They came scared. They came vulnerable. And so it was the fact that they took a step in and decided that they want to change their life is the only way to do it is that, because we know how important this element of adding this element in your life is. And if you keep putting it off, because you're getting inspired to do this. There's something in your life that's causing you to do this. So the only thing you can do is just get up and do it. Okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like, go see a therapist kind of. Get up and do it. Just like if you wanted to become a doctor or have a career, you need to go to college. You're gonna sign up. Mm-hmm. All right, and you're gonna go through the 4 years that you need to go through to have that degree to get that job. It's no different here. The thing is that this is super beneficial on so many levels, and it's just one step at a time. One step at a time. You got to take.
You can't be afraid. Foot forward. Absolutely, put that first foot forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fitzroy Smith, master trainer and owner of Fit360 700 Miami Circle, Atlanta, Georgia, in the beautiful city of Buckhead. If you are in the city, you got to come by and check them out. And please, let the people know how they can find you online.
You can find me on website is fit360totaltraining.com. IG Fit360 ATL, or TT rather, which is Total Training, and Facebook as well. And all the other platforms is pretty much Fit360 TT.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Fitzroy Smith, Fit360. And when we come back, J-Ray, we're gonna wrap it up, but for the people that are here, they can ask a couple questions if they like. And you and I are going to tell people the steps on how they can always keep up with us here on Q Points, because we kind of missed that in the beginning. Yeah. But we'll be right back after this.
Absolutely.